Margaret's, Dunfermline. Our service will be starting shortly.
Catherine's to remind you that they're on Tuesday and on Thursday. And Wednesday we have our midweek service at 7 o'clock. You'll have noticed that you were given this insert in your order service for chocolat or Lent. That's the book and the movie, and if we're really good, we might also get something else as well in addition to that. So just to let you know about Ash Wednesday, the 6th of March at 7 p.m, the movie will be shown, and then read the booklet or the book during Lent, and there will be 2 other evenings to share our thoughts, which will be Wednesday, the 20th of March and the 3rd of April.
May I show the trailer for people?
Yeah, on you go.
There once was a town that believed in tranquility at any cost. If you saw something you weren't supposed to see, you looked the other way. Then one day, a sly wind blew in from the north, and with it, strangers.
These people are not welcome.
She's an atheist. What's that? Don't know.
Opening a chocolaterie just in time for Lent. Shameless, isn't it?
Would you like to come in for some chocolate?
What about boycott morality?
How are your husband? To like a fashion. You obviously never met my husband. You obviously never tried these. You have no orders in this place. How many do you want? How many have you? And these strangers show the town how to once again love, laugh, and truly live. Academy Award winner Juliette Binoche, Academy Award winner Judy Dench, Alfred Molina, Academy nominee Lena Olin, and Johnny Depp in a delicious comedy that feels as good as it tastes. Chocolat.
I'm sorry about that.
Let's pray. Living God, our Heavenly Father, we come today as your people have come across the years. We come to seek your guidance. Come seeking to know your will. We come trying to understand your purpose for our lives. You have called us here to be your people. Help us to hear your voice. We come bringing the life of our fellowship here before you. We come bearing in our hands and in our hearts our practical and our spiritual needs. We come with our hopes and with our fears. We come with our joys and our sorrows. We come with our successes and our challenges too. Give us faith and wisdom to discern your will. Give us the vision and courage to respond to your will. Give us patience and understanding together so that we might be open to other options, to new ways forward. And even when we disagree, to do everything in a spirit of love. Loving God, we do not ourselves here today. But we think of those who are not with us at this time. Those who are prevented from coming through ill health. Those through age or infirmity or other commitments who cannot be here. We think of those who are struggling with their faith or struggle to feel that they belong here in this fellowship. Think of those who are uncertain of their commitment, who have not yet reached the point of expressing their faith. Teach us to respond sensitively to each one, making real love our primary commitment and showing genuine concern for all. Loving Father, we thank you for the privilege of meeting together. Open our hearts to you, open our hearts to one another, open our hearts to all around us, so that we may truly meet in spirit and in truth as your people. We thank you for our calling. We thank you for your listening. Help us to hear your voice through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. We're going to sing 2 hymns. Jesus is King, and I will extol him, and then isn't he beautiful?
Thank you.
Sunday school. You know it. Seems to know it. Stop it. Now, the very highly valued servant of a Roman officer was sick, so sick he was near to death. When this officer heard about Jesus, he sent some respected Jewish leaders to ask him to come and to heal his servant. So they earnestly begged Jesus to come with them and help the man. If anyone deserves your help, it's this man, they said. For he loves us, he loves the Jews, and he's even built a synagogue, a place of worship for us. So Jesus went with them. But before they arrived at this man's house, the officer sent some friends to him. And they said this, "Lord, don't trouble yourself by coming to my home, for I'm not worthy of the honor of you coming. I'm not even worthy to come and meet with you. You just say the words from where you are, and my servant
I know about these things, for I am an officer who is under orders from my superior officers. And I also have authority over my own soldiers. All I need to do is to say to them, go, and they will go, or come, and they will come. And if I say to my servants, do this, or do that, they will do it. When Jesus heard this, he was completely amazed. And he turned round to the crowd and he said, I tell you this, I have never heard faith like this in the whole of this land of Israel. And when the officer's friends returned to his house, they found that his servant was completely healed. There's something quite incredible about Jesus. There's no one like him. And this passage tells this story. I'm going to read it again because I hope you understood it when it was read through the first time. But it was this, that Jesus has such power in him that he didn't even need to go and to touch the person who was sick to heal them. He did it sometimes, but in this case he didn't even need to go and touch the person who was sick. He merely said and agreed with the Roman soldier, I have the power to do this, you go home and you will find your servant healed. Wow. Gobsmackingly wow. What power that is. And you know something? That's the same power as he has today. Because when we pray to him, we are asking him to give us the power to do things in his name. And the problem that we sometimes have is not that we don't believe in Jesus, it's that we don't actually ask him to do things for us. That soldier said, all you need to do is say the word and it will be done. But we don't do what that soldier did. We don't actually ask him to do things for us. And therefore, things don't happen. You don't ask, you don't get. I need to think about that. Older adults, myself, younger folks here today. You don't ask, you don't get. What is it we're not asking for? What is it that's not happening? Because we're not asking. Think about it. Okay, we're not going to sing this time. We're just going to move to today's reading. So if you want to go out, you can. Paul is including a letter to his friends in the church in Philippi. And in the conclusion of this letter, he's bringing together a whole lot of different things that he wants to say to them, short things that he wants to remind them of. And this is what he says. Always be full of joy in the Lord.
say again, rejoice. Let everyone see that you are considerate in all you do. Remember, the Lord is coming soon. Or the Lord is near. Is another translation. A little bird told me, was I a completely stupid child? I wonder when I think back. My mother invariably caught me out when I was trying to get out of trouble or trying to pull the wool over our eyes when I was very wee. And by the age of 4, I was convinced that I was being followed by a bird that reported back everything that I did to my mother. It had its effect. The little bird told me. I want us to look at this particular passage, and I want us to turn the verse round so that we begin with the second verse of the 2 verses that we read. Begin at the end. Because the translation that we read is actually not a very good translation of what Paul said. The best translation of what Paul said is this: the Lord is near, not the Lord is coming soon. Although the two things might marry one another, and we'll see what that means in just a moment. But the Lord is near. What does that mean? Well, perhaps it means that the Lord is close to us. That the Lord is with us. That the Lord is ever beside us. And that the Lord is ever in our midst. If you want to put it in more theological terms, there is nowhere where he is not present. Go to Psalm 139, you will see that being spelled out perfectly by the psalmist. If you listen to Job and Job talking about God, that is a conclusion that he too comes to. And remember that Job is the oldest book that's in the Bible and has this very high view and understanding of God. God is not up there somewhere. God is not a physical being who's present somewhere around us. God is a spirit who is present everywhere with us. He is infinite, if you like. There is nowhere where he is not. And therefore, to say the Lord is near is an ultimate statement of reality about the nature of who God is. Now, to some of us, or all of us, that's a very comforting thing to know. We are not alone in this universe. That we are not cast adrift somehow. That God, who has promised his love to us, is actually present with us wherever we are. Always. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. God is present with us from the beginning of our lives to life's end and beyond. That's a tremendously comforting truth and reality. And that will never change because God cannot not be with us. The very nature of who he is demands and insists
upon the reality and the truth of that. The Lord is near, always. However, that's also very challenging to us as well. Think about the passage that we just read. Think about the challenge that presents us. Think about how perhaps when we hear something like that, are we not beginning to think, well, maybe my faith is not what it should be. Well, it's not, is it? My faith is not what it should be. Your faith is not what it should be. None of us possesses the kind of faith that we should have. And the kind of faith that we should have is very clearly one where we say that we know God is with us, and therefore if He is who He says He is, and was incarnate in Jesus Christ, then He can do far greater things than we can ever ask for or imagine. Therefore, there's a challenge to us about the nature of our faith. If He is with us, what is it that we are expecting of Him for us? Are our expectations great or mediocre or none at all? There's a real challenge in that. And if He is who He says He is, and He is the great and all-powerful being that He says He is, are we exercising and accessing what we should be exercising and accessing as His people? His power to work in, through, and for us. Things are not happening in the church. We're not experiencing the power of God in our church. One of the questions that we maybe have to ask ourselves is why? Is it maybe a lack of faith on our part? And therefore there is a challenge there for us. There is a further challenge there for us as well, of course. And that is, if the Lord is near, how does that affect the way that we behave? Do we live and behave as if God is near? The Lord is near. When we open our mouths to speak, do we think first about not the person to whom we're speaking, but the person in whose presence we are speaking? Or when we commit ourselves to a form of action, are we thinking not about the effect this might have on other people, but about the person in whose presence we are doing this particular thing? And it has to be said that practically all of us, universally it's true of most Christians, that we believe in our minds in the existence of God, but we act like atheists. We act like agnostics, as if He wasn't there. But He is. He is near. And He sees and knows everything that we do. And that should be a challenge to us. There is nothing hidden from Him in our minds, in our emotions, or indeed in our actions. Therewith is a great challenge, even when I think back to some of the things I did and said yesterday. But to say that the Lord is near is also invigorating, isn't it? One of the wonderful things about going into the Highlands of Scotland and out to the Islands of Scotland for me is that the wind always blows. Very few days when it's absolutely flat calm.
Those, unfortunately, are the days when the midges tend to kind of live and breathe and have their being. But to be out in the wind and the breeze is invigorating. And it should be invigorating to us too, that the Spirit of God is among us. Because wind and breath describe what it means to describe the Spirit of God in the Old Testament in particular. And it should invigorate us to know that we live and move and have our being in the presence of the Spirit of the living God who creates and sustains life all around us. And that is a forever truth. Now it is also true to say, remember the Lord is coming soon. In the sense in which Jesus will return, or we will return to Him. Christianity does two things for us. It prepares us to live in the present. It encourages us to live in the present in a particular, sensitive to God, powerful way that has a positive effect on the lives of other people and indeed on ourselves. But it also prepares us for the future as well. Over the last 6 to 7 months, I have had the privilege of journeying with a lady called Eva, who was a member of my congregation in Skye. Eva was told that she had cancer, it was incurable, there was nothing they could do for her, and that she would get no treatment other than palliative care. And so much of my time was spent with Eva visiting her weekly in St. Columba's Hospice. And my main role with Eva was to prepare her for the future, to prepare her not for the Lord's coming to her, but for her coming to meet with the Lord. And as the week rolled by, just a grace and a peace permeated that lady's life to such an extent that at the beginning of last week, when I prayed with her, I just knew that she was ready, and that there was a deep sense of God's peace there. She was preparing herself. She was being prepared for that ultimate step out of this world into the next. And that is now where she is. She's now in that place that she was being prepared for. But it's not just about preparing ourselves for that particular moment in time when we will step out of this world that God gives us His truth. It is about living in the moments as well, living in the present tense, and living to the glory of God. And if you step back, it says, let everyone see that you are considerate in all you do. Again, not a great translation. The better translation would be gentle and gracious in all that you do. We're living in the moments, in the presence of God, then that's what we're called to do, to be gentle and gracious in all that we do. Whether it's in our workplace,
with the people we love, or with the people maybe that we care for. Whether it's in our family relationships, whether it's in our friendships, some of which might at this moment in time be challenging and difficult. The calling is to be gentle and to be gracious. And that's about transforming relationships. That's about how we deal with other people. That's about being with other people as we would want them to be with us. Surely that's what we want more than anything else, that people would be gentle with us and that they would be gracious to us. Therefore, that's how we should be with others, and if we are in the Lord's presence, then it makes sense that that's how we should live. And gentleness and being gracious to other people is exactly how God has chosen to be with us. Is that not how He is with us? Despite all of the imperfections, God chooses gentleness. I choose, says Jesus, I choose, says God, to be gentle with these people. I choose, He says, to be gracious towards these people. Forgiving and loving in all that I do. The Lord is near. Be gentle. Be gracious with everyone, and even with yourself. And so this sense of the Lord being near transforms relationships for good. And then finally we go back a sense to the beginning where we start. Where in verse 4 Paul says, as a consequence of all that, as a consequence that the Lord is near, as a consequence that He is preparing us for a journey, and in this journey preparing us in how we are to live with one another and amongst one another, celebrate joyfully. Celebrate joyfully. Always be full of joy. And I say it again, and I say it as if I need to say it again, says Paul. Rejoice! Rejoice. You know, I'm a person who defaults to being negative about myself. Some people default to being negative about other people. Some people default to being negative about life in general and their circumstances in particular. It is so easy to have the negative highlighted. You know how it is, don't you? Somebody says 9 good things about you and one person says something negative about you. What is it that remains in your head? The one negative, doesn't it? And yet what God is saying to us here is this. As far as God is concerned, everything is positive. Our relationship with Him is absolutely based on the most positive outcomes. You're loved, you're forgiven, you have grace, you have mercy, you have the peace of God. Everything, as far as God is concerned, towards you and me, has a positive outcome. Our relationships with one another as a consequence should be positive. Even in the face of some really negative things. And the call is to joy. And if you have to search for things to be joyful about, then go on a good search. And dig out those things that are there where you know you can express positive joy, because they are there. And always will be, because of the nature of the one who is
him in the mind of Christ.
who are near to them right now to touch their lives.
pray that you would help us to live our lives differently. Help us to live our lives with that positive faith, with that clear sense that you are with us, that we are with you and within you. That our journey is a positive and a good one. Help us to reach out to you and to access from you everything that is good, so that we might communicate it with others who need to hear good news. Loving God, our gracious Heavenly Father, we celebrate life and give thanks for its gift. Thanks for Gordon, who celebrates 30 years in eldership and is preaching in his own home church just now. Bless him with a deep sense of your presence and peace. Thank you for his gifts and for his ministry, and ask for blessing upon him at this time. Indeed, Lord, help each one of us to use our gifts, gifts that you have given to us for the sake and the good of the kingdom of heaven, gifts that we perhaps use in our workplace, amongst our neighbours and friends, gifts that make the lives of others better, because they are gifts that have been given by your Spirit to us. Abilities and graces. Lord, our gracious Heavenly Father, bless each one of us here today. Some of us are really struggling with life, others are in a good place, a different place. But wherever our circumstances might be, help us to understand and know that they are known to you, that you are with us, that you will never ever leave us or forsake us. Help us to understand that though we travel through a difficult place sometimes, that you are always there to guide us through it. Lord our God, bless our young people in particular in our church. Bless those who teach them, who are with them, who guide them. May the teachers and may the leaders and may the children have a deep and profound sense that you are with them. We grant, Lord, that they might, in the youth of their life, find joy in Christ. Lord our Father, then we come to you, offering you these our prayers, in the name of Jesus Christ, your Son, our Lord. Amen. The hymn is Christ is the one who calls. We don't know the hymn, but we know the tune, so it should be well known to you. today and always.